Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have Young Thug woke up. The Drake stands too. Shout out to Hello Yasin for the video. And Thug is definitely joining Drake to compete for the biggest crash out in hip hop history. Another downfall of epic proportions. I saw a few people calling Thug Thugnificent, and honestly, it's another hilarious callback to the Boondocks. I mean, he already joined the Snitchathon. So Thugnificent is obviously a very fitting name. I actually just saw a Thug post where he said that all that bashing is just going to make it harder for the other side. But no, Thug, you have basically made it impossible for you to come back from this. You truly have earned the slime moniker and personify the snake emoji that you love to post so much. You have painted yourself as one of the most unloyal rappers I have ever seen. So Kendrick Lamar dubbing that verse honestly seems like just another prophetic move. So Kendrick Lamar truly got Magic Johnson, LeBron James court vision. The moves couldn't have been scripted any better. But leave it up to the cult of the OVOIs to make this situation all about Drake. They've already proven themselves to not need facts nor logic in their arguments and goalposts moving. But to say Kendrick Lamar doesn't give out features or bring others up is just plainly erroneous. Just this past year and a half alone, we've seen him extend his platform to tons of artists, from the pop-out event to his hit album GNX. So that narrative is egregious, and he's definitely giving out plenty of features to people from Atlanta. Just look at Playboy Cardi and Future. But enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the video where we have the Young Thug woke up to Drake stands too. And Thugnificent is truly hilarious. What's poppin', yo?
What's poppin', y'all? Man, the thug calls have woken up the Drake stands. So in my previous video, I talked about how Thug tried to come at Kendrick Lamar with the Baby Keem situation, say he didn't make Baby Keem. You can check that out. But
Baby Keem is definitely a success story, and that is mainly in part to Kendrick Lamar. So Thug is just looking for any morsel to try to hate.
I'm gonna play you guys another clip
Still
from
wrong.
the call where he's talking about Drake putting people on and this and that, and this is what the Drake stands ran with. So I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
I don't be understanding that type of shit. Supposed to be a blessing. That's why them niggas never be bigger than Drake ever in life. Never be bigger than Buddy. Buddy gonna do it right. Buddy with everybody. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. You can't fuck with everybody because then you fuck with people like you, Thug. When it comes to anything creative, I feel like it's best to make things happen organically and not forced. Because Kendrick Lamar does not need Moneybagg Yo or Lil Baby to go trending.
Like Drake, just like straight with Kendrick, goddamn, you're a superstar. You don't ran up a few hundred M, but you ain't put nobody.
He's put plenty of
You know
people
He
on.
ain't put Keem on. Cause the shit on him doing this shit ain't really helped nobody.
He's helped tons of artists and he's also helped the community as well. Thug is obviously very hurt he didn't get that feature. And at the end of the day, Thug, if you are a superstar, why are you begging anyone for a feature?
He ain't helped
Cope.
nobody. Really gaining no fans off of you. Keem ain't big. Keem love hell. Man, can't sell no ticket. Watch out.
When Keem pops out at a Kendrick show, fam, it's absolutely pandemonium, and there's definitely a ton of anticipation for some new Keem music. Like I've said plenty of times, you cannot dictate how an artist or when an artist creates, nor who they collaborate with, especially if you're going to want the art to be inspired, because neither of those two are in it to make microwave music.
Like, man, watch out. I truly believe we'll have your ass trending. Like, they're going to be like people in the real world, not the rap world. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say that Kendrick Lamar has a lot more influence over the real world than any of those people. Not to say that they haven't had their own successes. And it's not just post-beef. Pre-beef, Kendrick Lamar was one of the premier artists, period. And the dude did it his way. He not only provided features for other people, he also featured a ton of artists that probably wouldn't have had the same exposure without him on his projects.
And cool and players and shit. That you don't, them type of people, like, you're going to get like the real streets and the real people with you. You're going to get the East Coast, the East Coast ain't with you, bro.
This guy's a
You really
buffoon.
trying to keep all the blessings to yourself. You really trying to keep everything to yourself.
This just sounds like the ramblings of a hurt person.
Sit in the studio and work on the album and don't put nobody on the album. Like, God damn, bro, you ain't going to with nobody? You ain't going to bless nobody? Bullshit ass King? Like, but it's like, what the hell is you doing? You supposed to be fucking with me, Wham, Dirt. Savvy, you supposed to be fucking with us. You supposed to be calling us like, hey, man, I want y'all on my album. I'm on
Okay.
this time around. I'm on splash. Like, come on, man. God.
Again, he's given features to Playboy Cardi. He's given features to Future. I mean, Kendrick has even given a feature to Rich the Kid. He's given features to tons of those type of artists. It was more than likely that he just didn't rock with the record, or the guy's just busy. So when you're crashing out, all you're doing is just burning the bridge and making it that you never get a feature from him.
God damn.
Especially now.
I don't know, though. These niggas be crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully he do
Not
something.
everyone's looking at him crazy.
I ain't really giving no damn.
We'll still be good.
Yeah, over good. Continue being rap, man. You know what I'm saying? Continue being rap, man. Stay supportive.
Yeah.
Coming from probably the most unreal person in this whole situation, obviously You can't say you're not pressed and then only convey how pressed you actually are.
Both my album covers on, man. Stay supportive, man. All that, I ain't posting no pictures 6 years. Man, watch out. Care about all that shit, man. Nobody don't give no f about none of that. I guarantee you, your first
Thug, no one cares when you put a chandelier on your head and wear a dress. Different people just approach their art differently, and obviously it's worked out for Kendrick.
post you post, that motherfucker gonna do 1 million or 2 million likes. You can get out in the next 16 years. You not finna get on here and get no million, 100 million likes on your post. You're not Kim Kardashian, man. So whatever you call yourself doing with your internet, and if you just want to prove, like, oh, I won't be on the internet, what is that proving? What they do? Instagram is meant for pictures, man. Post your picture, bro. Or just delete your Instagram.
That guy's a buffoon.
Yeah.
He's literally talking like a teenage girl. And obviously Kendrick is doing something right if he's selling out an entire stadium tour. So these calls are just ramblings of an obviously desperate person.
Rarity, though. But, man, have fun with that.
So this kicked off Drake's stand saying, oh, shoot, we got more ammo to go at Kendrick Lamar. Well, one of Drake's top shooters, top digital shooters, Akademiks TV. Y'all know we love this page here. I mean, honest, it's a love-hate situation.
They put up the most egregious captions. And then Akademiks will claim that he has nothing to do with it when it bears his name and he pays these people. And I hate to break it to you, but that's not how it works. I can't own a newspaper. They print something crazy and then act like I'm not responsible at all. It's not how it works.
It's when it comes to just, you got to respect a level of rage baiting and entertainment that comes from this page. It's unparalleled. Like, who's doing it like him? Regardless. He says, reminder that Kendrick waited till Rich the Kid had a smash hit to collab with him, fed off his wave, and once it was over, never messed with or acknowledged him again. By definition, that's the culture vulture y'all claim Drake.
No, not at all. Obviously, Act doesn't understand the music business that well, and it's honestly a shame given how long he's been covering music. I actually spoke about this because What's the Dirt has a similar situation where they speak on things like botting and paid playlisting placements and act like that's not commonplace in the industry. Anyone that truly has knowledge of the industry could have told you that those are standard practices. But Akademiks, your narrative is yet again erroneous. Think about Drake. When he does it, he co-ops their entire sound and then discards of them when they're not useful to him anymore. The guy will change his accent to whatever record is fitting for the moment. I mean, every time we see an interview, it's literally him with a different accent. So I definitely think it's two different scenarios.
If I had never heard something so wrong, and this is the thing, there's rage bait and then there's just straight news. This is straight fake news. Rich the Kid never had a wave. A wave is like, Rich the Kid had motion at one point in time, but...
Nah, Rich the Kid had a little wave. It obviously didn't last very long, and he did pick up some steam again when he got with Ye, but that has also seemed to die down.
A wave? A wave is when you got people trying to be like you, people moving. Well, actually, he did have a wave in terms of when it was him, Famous Dex, and Jay Critch, but they were all making different styles of music. They just came to...
I kind of want to agree there because a lot of people would say that Rich also took from Famous Dex. I mean, Dex will say it himself. The thing is, Dex obviously had his issues with substance abuse.
Together well. But Rich the Kid, he had motion. But the funniest thing about this is Rich New Freezer is what put Rich the Kid on. Plug Walk came after that. Every hit song that Rich the Kid had came after that. And this is the thing too. He blessed Rich the Kid with that. Like, even Rich the Kid talked about how New Freezer came out. And this is how shocking it was of a collaboration. Some people were appalled.
Kendrick Lamar obviously loved the record, which is how he operates.
That Kendrick Lamar would even work with the Rich the Kid because they felt like Rich the Kid was too inferior of a rapper. But early on, New Freezer was supposed to be Ferg and Made in Tokyo and Rich the Kid. And Kendrick liked the version with just Rich the Kid, so he had him take the other guys off, and he hopped on.
And when Kendrick Lamar asks you to remove someone else's verse, you just go ahead and do it. But this is another moment that shows you that, yeah, Kendrick Lamar will feature on a record if he likes the record, which he's obviously done multiple times. Even Thug's manager was saying that, yeah, we can't buy this dude out. That's not how he operates. So I'm not surprised at all.
And Ferg said he was cool with it to help Rich the Kid. And
this was
probably in the same sessions where Ferg's project came out, the one with the blue album cover. He had a couple of songs with Made in Tokyo there as well. We need more Ferg and Made in Tokyo tracks. Those guys, they're both living life.
And Tokyo is still making music. It's obviously just not getting the same reception that it was back in the day. Honestly, I've always liked Ferg. He was probably my favorite member of ASAP.
But man, that project was good. They had that song Wham, not to be confused with Wham Lil Baby, but the project was Floor Seats. It was like an EP, not really an album, but it was 9 tracks. But yeah,
Yeah,
Made
it's
in
an
Tokyo,
album.
they were on Wham, and they were also on a couple of other tracks. I think Ferg appeared on some tracks by Made in Tokyo. So this was solid. I really imagine what that song. One Night Savage, Made in Tokyo was on that and on the Still Striving EP, or Still Striving album, and then Move Your Hips is what Made in Tokyo was on Ferg with. And my theory has always been that Made in Tokyo has helped Ferg a little bit. Not like, I'm not saying Ferg was made by Made in Tokyo, but I think they worked off each other because Made in Tokyo has got some infectious hooks. So they try to cap about that, and it's objective. Rich the Kid got plug walk after this. Rich the Kid's wave started with Kendrick Lamar, if we're being honest here. So that goes out
Well, that's when he obviously skyrocketed.
the window. And then you just get a list from this Hip Hop All Day account, which they did a good job on this. But I do think there are some things we can dispel and be fair about, and there are some we don't need to, how do you say, we don't need.
Obviously, that George Clinton record is off that How to Pimp a Butterfly, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's collaborated with so many people. These are obviously just the people that have had their most streamed songs with Kendrick Lamar.
To bend the rules or try to exaggerate to make Kendrick Lamar seem like he helps people out more than he actually does, because the actual evidence is enough. But it says artists whose most streamed songs on Spotify are collaborations with Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott. And the reason why I said bending it and
I love Zach. It's definitely very underrated to me as well. I love that dude's voice.
exaggerating it is dog. Goosebumps is actually at like 3 billion streams. Part of the resurgence and success of Goosebumps came from the remix. The remix that was made by, his name was like HVBE or HVNE or something like that. It was kind of like an electronic remix that went viral in Europe, and then it spread, and it was all over TikTok initially. And that it brought Goosebumps back into the mainstream. That's when Goosebumps charted its highest after that electronic remix, which was mainly Travis Scott, because the original Goosebumps, it never topped the charts. It was a slow burn type of track, and nobody is saying that nobody's anticipating Goosebumps for Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar did his thing on there, but it wasn't the same thing that Kendrick Lamar did for No Freezer. Regardless, there's Zakari, J-Rock. J-Rock helped Kendrick Lamar, but they're saying, you guys get what I mean. Baby Keem, he put him on.
Yeah, but Kendrick Lamar also helped J-Rock a lot as well.
On 2 Chainz, Schoolboy Q, Isaiah Rashad, Sir, Big Crit, Danny Brown, Lefty Gunplay, AZ Chike or Az Chike, Dodie
Guy's a freaking buffoon. Obviously, AZ Chike. And his feature on GNX is probably one of the best crowd responses during the GNX tour.
6, and these are, it looks
He's
like
got some
some
dope
of these
records.
people are just the people that got thrown on GNX. George Clinton, Tana Leone, MC8, Lance Skywalker, and more.
I also want to show some respect to the people that were on GNX, because he's not just going to throw you on there because he rocks with you. Because with the way he operates with features, I feel like that's how he operates on his album. That verse that you give him is still going to have to go off.
I bet if we did this with Drake, we'd get the same result. Now, the reason why I got to give credit to Kendrick Lamar is he collaborates with people that are unexpected that get a massive benefit from him. And he sticks his neck out to do so. Whenever Drake's collaborated,
Which is very true, because other than Smiley, and honestly, I think that feature is just because of where Drake is at this point of his career. But most of the time he features on somebody, it's somebody that already is white hot. You can't say that you made the Migos, because the Migos were going to be the Migos without that feature.
with somebody, it's been safe. Like, sure, he collaborated.
2 Chainz, same thing.
To his credit, Drake gave the Look Alive song to Blackboy JB. Blackboy JB admitted it recently this year. He said, yo, by the way, Look Alive was Drake's song. He just said I could hop on it. And then he gave it to Blackboy JB. And that was a smash. And it makes sense because you hear it. It's Drake coming in the beginning. But he had some motion, Blackboy JB, a little bit. Like, Memphis was popping at that time. Now, this was probably one of the weirdest collaborations with, like, people raised their eyebrows. They're like, whoa, Blackboy JB, who is that guy and why is Drake working with him? But most of the others, they've made sense. And Drake, he does show a lot of subliminal love. Like, for example, like Yeet was already on by the time he hopped on his track, but he posted him on his IG story and was showing love, and I think that came from the connection with Zach Bia. But with Kendrick Lamar, and we have to speak on this, especially if Drake stans are talking about him going up against the industry. The industry, in this case Spotify, really, they wanted to censor music and take down and limit the reach of artists that they deem to do reprehensible things in the public. So
yeah, 1000%. During this time was when they started deplaylisting everybody. and those people saw like a 60 to 70% drop in streams.
XXX, they wanted to limit his music,
But
as
X is
well as
still
R.
one of the
Kelly
most
and
streamed.
others. And Kendrick Lamar and TDE, they stepped out and said, yo, this isn't gonna fly. We're gonna pull our stuff if you don't like let this be free. Let the music be the music, and let what they want to be, or let what they got going on be what they got going on.
At the end of the day, if you really start logging in all the things people have done, you'll be shocked to see that a lot of your favorites have done some things that you would not approve of.
Not going to do this moral police thing. And this wouldn't work today because Spotify is just way too big at this point. But that was a crucial time, and they stuck their neck out to do that. Drake didn't do that, and I don't expect Drake to do that because
Drake truly doesn't speak out on hot button topics either, though.
XXX was talking greasy about him. Like, it was despicable what he was saying about Drake. Also, on top of that, XXX was like the most hated industry media blackout artist. Like, nobody wanted to touch him with a 10-foot pole because
It's crazy because to this day, I want to say X is still probably top 10 most streamed rappers on Spotify. And of course he wouldn't like Drake. Drake literally stole his sound and stole his flow and didn't give him any credit. X even went on to say that if something were to happen to him, to look at Drake. And obviously doesn't help that Drake had a line that kind of suggested that he had something to do with this.
he was facing that gruesome case. And what did Kendrick Lamar do? The day 17 came out, and he barely ever tweets, he tweets out that album. He sends 2 tweets about it. Cosign, straight cosign on one of the most hated artists of a generation that was coming up. Now, you can't, that's from the heart. That's out of love. He had nothing to benefit from that. And then we can also talk about Kodak Black.
While X definitely received tons of backlash, he also has one of the most rabid fan bases there is. Just look at one of his shows and you'll understand.
An example of what I was talking about earlier in the Yeet type situation. Kodak Black was on an interview talking about like, yo, like Drake and all that. Yeah, if we're not going to hop on a song, what is this we're cool thing? Because since 2015, I think it was the project after Project Baby. Project Baby was like the first big mixtape. After that, he started showing love to Kodak. He saw the wave that Kodak Black had, and he's been showing love slyly ever since, and then more and more over time. It wasn't Lil Big Pac where he really showed love to him. It was like I gotta remember it. Heart of the Projects. It was Heart of the Projects, yeah. That was 2014. I remember it clearly. So he was showing love to Kodak, but he's never been on a song with Kodak. And Kodak is like, yo, we've never worked together. But Kendrick Lamar,
It seems like you're only bringing up his name to try to get some cool points.
he hopped on a track with him. Drake's never done that for Kodak. And Kendrick Lamar hopped on a track with Kodak after Kodak took a plea for that brutal grape case in South Carolina. I think, like, I don't know if he can't go to South Carolina. There's some situation in South Carolina. But I think, did he catch a pardon for that? No, it was for something else. Regardless. So he took
Yeah, Kodak has definitely had his share of legal issues.
plea for that, and that just goes to show you Kendrick Lamar's sticking his neck out. Kendrick Lamar's got a clean brand, nothing bad anyone can say about him, and he has the most to lose for co-signing an X or working with a Kodak. And then the people that he had on GNX, instead of with the whole wave that he had after beating Drake, instead of getting all these star-studded features, what does he do? He gets people from his city and puts them on this. And I don't know what more people want than that. Like, he let people open for him.
The pop-out event alone, he gave all those artists an international platform to get exposed to probably the most exposure they ever had in their careers. At the end of the day, it's on them to capitalize on that. If you get a look like that, you have to strike while the iron's hot. And the thing is, not too many people release music after that.
A lot. Now, granted,
At
he's
least
not handing
right
out
away.
features here and there, but he doesn't drop music as often as Drake. If Kendrick dropped music as often as Drake, you could potentially say, yo, he should hop on with this guy. He should show people more love. And this is the thing. Young Thug talking about he need to work with Moneybagg Yo. This is 2023, by the way. Moneybagg Yo's been
He's
a star
already
since
fizzling
2020.
now.
Or maybe you don't want to
But he definitely doesn't have the cachet that he had when he first got hot.
call him a star, whatever you want to call him. That guy's been an established, successful act since
He is
2020.
successful.
All the people that Young Thug wants Kendrick Lamar to work with are popping. So if he got on with them, it's just like, oh, he's on with this guy, I guess. So I don't even get that angle of it either.
He just may not like the song. I don't think it's that deep.
An individual that people didn't expect Drake to work with, that's a new artist that he put on. Smiley. If we're going to get Smiley,
Just brought him up earlier. Yeah, that record faded off the charts in less than a week, if it even did chart. But the problem with that song is that I felt like it sounded too regional, but nobody was looking for this record.
Whenever Drake does something like that, with all due respect, please keep it. Stop helping people. Stop handing out features. We don't want that garbage over here. And this is also a personality thing as well. Drake he's done more interviews. He's collaborated with more people than Kendrick. Does that mean Kendrick has dropped less music?
Drake literally has like double the catalog that Kendrick Lamar has. It really is unfair to compare certain metrics. Like, yeah, fam, you're supposed to be streaming more if you have literally double the music I have out there. But the fact that Kendrick Lamar was consistently able to beat Drake over the past year and a half, run the charts, and even though he has less songs, still be up there in streaming pretty much routinely. It's just astonishing and amazing.
Also done less interviews than Drake. Does that mean that Kendrick Lamar should do more interviews, or like media outlets should be upset at Kendrick Lamar because he doesn't do an interview with them? Now, media outlets are upset at Drake, but that's because hip-hop media outlets in particular, but that's because has messed with them in the past and they feel like they're getting backstabbed. Although I personally think it's a sense of entitlement that they have, as opposed to them being concerned that he's doing interviews with non-hip-hop outlets. Like, yo,
well, no one owes you anything in this business. Just like I said earlier, where I said that no one should be able to dictate how or when an artist creates or who they collaborate with, you also can't force them to sit down with anybody. At the end of the day, that's their prerogative. The thing is, Drake has been complaining about losing the culture, and maybe he'll never get back to where he once was. But at the end of the day, you're not going to regain the culture if you're consistently avoiding it. If you're out here avoiding the tough questions and not tackling them dead on, then you're not really going to change people's perception. And the fact is, what you're doing, Drake, right now is obviously not working. If so, those Iceman records would be thriving right now, and obviously that's not the case. They're fading as quickly as they came on. So far, What Did I Miss charted the highest at number 2, if I'm not mistaken, but faded like 50 to 60 spots in like 3 weeks. Obviously something unprecedented for him before the beef.
If Drake ever gave you an interview, period, you should be appreciative. That's it. Same thing with Kendrick Lamar. They don't owe you anything, especially if he gave it to you when he was big. Like Elliot, dog, he gave y'all I think it was after Pusha T, he did the interview with y'all. That's all you need in life.
Elliot Wilson is just salty, period.
What more do you want? What have you given Drake? I didn't mean to take shots if that's interpreted at Elliot. I mess with Elliot. I mess with Elliot's new energy as well. But I just had to defend Kendrick Lamar on this because it's an incorrect narrative, man. This guy shows love, and he shows love that isn't fake. Like, he's putting people on songs. Now, the expectation that he has to start chucking out features is ridiculous. That's not on brand.
I saw a bunch of people that he was giving features to or he featured on his project. Thing about Kendrick Lamar is that the dude is obviously of high integrity, and he seems to make all his decisions based on that. He's not going to feature on a song if he doesn't like the record. It's obvious that that's the case, and the manager even said so. And while Drake's features obviously seem more mutually beneficial, because he's definitely getting on those features because they're white hot, at least like 95% of them, Kendrick Lamar gives features and also features artists that most people would think of as up-and-comers or regional acts. So obviously those people have a lot more to gain from it than the people that receive features from Drake. Even though at the time it was obviously still a great look, and we have to be objective about that. But this whole narrative that Kendrick Lamar doesn't show love, that he doesn't help out other artists, man, is totally erroneous and totally egregious, man. It makes no sense. Definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Kendrick Lamar doesn't support artists? I obviously don't think that's the case. He's just very selective of who he works with, which is his prerogative. Like I keep saying, guys, you cannot tell an artist how and when to create or whom to create with. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me, and all the love and support that you guys continue showing this channel on a daily is honestly overwhelming and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. So I really want to let you guys know how appreciative I am for all of it. Guys, a big shout out to all those that have been joining YouTube memberships. Small way to support the channel, but definitely goes a very long way in helping out. And also a very big super thank you to all those that have been sending super thanks, because again, it helps out the channel tremendously. A very huge shout out to Renee for another fire super thanks. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to let you know how appreciative I am of your support. I'm definitely looking forward to y'all take on this. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Kendrick Lamar not only shows support for artists, but he also shows support for the community.